This is my market update for July 10th, 2015. So you can see in front of you it's a daily chart of the SPY S&P 500 ETF. And you can see that we've started to break out of that descending triangle that I've drawn on the chart. We had a lot of volatility this week out of fear in both China and Greece. Fear that Greece wouldn't get their bailout package and they would need to exit the euro, and also fear of the seemingly unending crash in the Chinese stock market. But today we did break out above that descending trend line that I've drawn in the chart. And not only did we break out above, but we've also sustained a lot of those gains. So I'm thinking there's probably going to be some follow through on Monday, perhaps even on Tuesday of next week. And I'll be monitoring the markets fairly closely next week, and I'll probably be a buyer of any small pullbacks that we do get, and I'll likely use this week's low as a stop loss for any more trades that I do put on. Okay, I did attempt a trade in JP Morgan earlier in the week upon that initial test of the lower Bollinger Band. As I did specify in my last video, it was only a half position size because I was a little leery of entering into the position, but I didn't have many trades on at the time, so I decided to take a shot. And unfortunately, I got stopped out the next day rather quickly, so I took a 1% loss here. And now, with the recovery on Thursday and Friday, JP Morgan, it seems to be doing pretty good now. Broke above the downward trend line drawn on the chart, and see how it reacts next week. It's probably likely to pull back a little bit and see if last week's lows hold, and then it's probably a really good entry point to initiate a position. Okay, and with the market action that I've been observing today, I decided it would be a good idea to start a few positions, and these will be a little bit longer positions than I've been doing recently on Twitter. So the first one I'll talk about is the Lionsgate LGF. So you can see the reason I got into it is because we had a hammer candle on Thursday. It was a test of the lower Bollinger Band, and then today we broke out above the descending trend line that I've drawn. So I feel the risk to reward setup is pretty good for this one here. And anytime a stock touches its lower Bollinger Band while at the same time it's above its 50-day moving average, it's a sign that there's good strength in the stock. So see how this position plays out into next week, and I'll probably likely add into strength. Okay, and finally Gilead was another position I started today, and you can see in the chart it's starting to poke out above that downward trend line that I've drawn, and this is a 30-minute chart, so you can see more clearly the reactions when sellers came in. And also, if you take a look at the weekly chart for Gilead, you can see it's basically got halted this week by the 10-week moving average. So we'll see how next week goes. See if we can start a meaningful reversal in this name. Thanks for listening, and you can follow me on Twitter at DeconstructMad for more trade ideas and daily updates. And in closing, I think the character of the market is undergoing a bit of a change, at least in the short term, which should make long positions worthwhile going into next week.